Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative. I'm the creator of the Divi Taxonomy Helper plugin. It's a little powerful plugin that's actually probably one of the most underrated plugins that we have, but it's actually one of my favorites. I have a bunch of new features for this plugin that I want to show you, so let's take a look. And if you're on YouTube, you can always click the link in the description to see the written information and screenshots. So let's just start here. The first feature is the ability to include or exclude taxonomy terms. So that's actually a pretty big feature. So let me explain it. So normally we have these checkboxes if you're using this module like on a home page. Now, if you're using it dynamically in a theme builder template, you won't see the checkboxes because you'll use dynamic taxonomies. So anyway, this only applies like when you're using it on a home page or other page. So you can select which ones appear, right? So these, now these three will appear if there's any. So like I could select this one. I want this one to be included and whatever, which ones, right? So the point is now we have this new setting here that I can say exclude. And basically it's that simple. I will now show all of them except, well, let's say except this one, right? That's really cool because I had some customer feedback where I forget how it was. Like whatever the situation was, they wanted to like exclude two and they didn't want to have to keep updating their checkboxes. And it's like, well, that makes sense to have an option to exclude. So we added it based on that customer feedback and it makes so much sense. So now like all of them will show except that one, and it just kind of frees me up from needing to like adjust these if I know like, I'm never going to want those, but I always want the other ones. All right, so we expanded the number of columns that you can choose. So a customer actually, again, reached out to us and they were like, hey, they want to do this thing they saw on another website where I think it was some kind of machinery, all kind of little categories, real small categories. And so they needed more columns. Now, what was happening was the number of columns would only go up to 6, which normally that's pretty tight. They actually wanted it to go up to 12. And they had it like full page and everything, full width. So it wouldn't work. It would only go up to 6. So we added up to 12. We doubled the amount of columns that you can set. So it's kind of crazy. That's a lot. And that's probably, you're not going to need that often. But I can see, depending on if you're using like a little icon or whatever you're doing, it's nice to be able to do that now. Here's an interesting one. This is my personal thing that I wanted to do. I had this idea, like, couldn't we use this taxonomy module like this? Like, have it automatically fill instead of using columns. So that's what it's doing. So I don't have a number of columns, and you can see how this one's narrow, this one's wider, whatever, and how they're automatically filling in. Do you see that? So they're set in line instead of with columns. This is a new feature. So right here where we were columns, I can actually say inline now for the layout type. Now, I don't think it's going to work in the visual builder, but when you exit the builder, you'll see like this, and it works pretty cool. Of course, you'll have to like get rid of your image probably and make your text really small and that kind of thing. But it would actually work as like a tag cloud, like taxonomy cloud. It really would. It would work in your sidebar. Just make everything really small. Here's a cool feature. So the image, in fact, I already have it set. Go to images. I already just had it on there. By default, it's whatever size those images are. Look at that. And even this one, you see, even those aren't quite the same. Yeah, like I think all of these are different sizes. So that's how it would have looked before. And now, for example, I could choose landscape 16:9. It looks really nice now. Everything's consistent and even. Of course, I had square, and you can pick any of these really. So that's a really neat new feature. I think the last one here is to set all the taxonomy terms with one icon. So we already have the ability to set an image for all of them. For the icon here, we have this new default icon. So this is when you're not using images. In fact, let me go over here to the elements and say show images, and now I can, once images is off, I can say use icons, and then you can actually choose an icon for each category. So right now, the way it's working, it's the same icon. So now I can, and before you had like each one of these down through, right? So here's B, I can choose an icon for B. It's gonna be this down arrow here. Or, you know, each one. Now I can choose the icon with the default icon and it will apply to all of them. That's more like, it's probably not gonna be used that much, but I can kind of see some use case. If these are like documentation, maybe I want that for each one, you know. All right, so there you go. It's a kind of a big update for our little plugin. 5 new features is a lot for a plugin of this kind of size, and we just keep doing it. This is like our 6th update now, and there's just a lot of cool features that most people do not know about. So I encourage you to look at the other update videos and blog posts, because there's a lot of features in this plugin that I don't do a very good job of advertising, and some are super powerful, especially with the theme builder and WooCommerce and whatever. There's things for, yeah, anyway, go check it out. Hope you enjoy this update, and we'll see you all in the next video.